moved by the ideas that I'm presenting. I'm very convinced of what it is that I'm presenting. But in no way, in shape or form am I trying to convince people that I am the living example of these ideas. And if you're really worried that it might be backbiting, you should go back to the person and say, hey, I'm going to be asked about what you said and I'm going to tell them.
My question is not about an ayah, it's more about work related. It's at the evaluation moments with the managers, when they ask me questions about what my opinion is about someone, or to tell something about a situation that's going on. It feels more like backbiting for me when I have to tell something about a situation.
Okay.
What is good to do in that kind of situations to handle?
So let's just say there was a fight in the office between two people and you were a witness. And they say, can you tell me what happened? Then you say, it was so terrible. I mean, I can't believe they said something like that. I never imagined. You're not stating any facts. You're stating your feelings. They asked you what happened. They didn't ask you your personal emotional experience, right? So if you can separate your emotional experience from the facts, this person said this. If you'd like to know the facts, this person said this person said this, without introducing, I can't believe they said that. I felt so horrible when they said it. Or the tone of your voice changes when you quote your friend, and your tone of your voice changes again when you quote the person you don't like at the office, even though you're quoting both of them. Now, this is kind of la yashhaduna zur. They don't give twisted testimony. Right? So if it's your responsibility, if you're being asked and you're witness to something, you should be able to say, hey, this is what I'm witness, yes, and this is what happened, and this is what happened. This is the truthful account. That's not backbiting. But again, a lot of times people testify or say this is what happened, but the facts are 20% and 80% of it is their emotional interjections and their own opinion injected into the speech itself. So for example, if someone said, I want to quit, they said, I want to quit. You could say it like that, or they were saying they'd want to quit. And you could not include your own kind of spices to the speech. So and if that's the case, you have to be able to say, right? And if you're really worried that it might be backbiting, you should go back to the person and say, hey, I'm going to be asked about what you said and I'm going to tell them. Just letting you know, this is what I'm going to say because that's what happened.
So my question is about how can you strike a balance between not showing off with your good deeds and following the sunnah, and also at the same time you want to be kind of an example for people and bring people along with you in the deen. So how do you have, of course you have to, your intention has to be right, but how do you strike that balance if you don't kind of show certain behaviors or things, and how do you...
Can you give me an example?
For example, some people post things on social media because they want to influence people in a good way, but then it can also come across as, oh, look at me, I'm a good Muslim. So how do you balance that? On the one hand, you want to take people along with you, but then on the other hand, you don't want to be like, oh, look at me, I'm doing everything so well.
I think it just has to do with honesty. That's all. Like, if you're doing something beneficial, you can talk about how it benefits you without talking about how great you are, giving the impression that you're amazing. Like, I've been speaking publicly about Islam for 25 years, right? But I don't think I present myself a certain way. Like, I'm very moved by the ideas that I'm presenting. I'm very convinced of what it is that I'm presenting. But in no way, in shape or form am I trying to convince people that I am the living example of these ideas, right? I would like to live up to these ideas as much as you. So us talking about that doesn't mean that I am the representation of these teachings. But I am as much a seeker of them and a beneficiary, or a desiring beneficiary of them, as you all are, right? So we're all innani min al-muslimin. I'm from among the Muslims, but that doesn't. I don't have to come out and say, by the way, I'm not better than you. I'm a very humble person, and I don't have to do any of that. You just have to be honest, right? And I think genuineness is something you cannot generate. It just comes across, right? And when my concern becomes, hey, I want to share something that will help someone, right? Then I'll share it. And the best way to share it is, hey, this is how it helped me. Because that's genuine, right? This was a problem and this really helped me. I hope it helps you too. Meaning it's the same as if you were talking to a friend across the table at a coffee shop and you were giving them the advice that helped you. That same level of sincerity, if you can replicate that if you're talking to the public, fine. Fine. Then it's not showing off. The clip you just watched was me answering someone's question they had about the Quran. This is part of the Deeper Look series of Bayyinah TV. You can catch that on bayyinahtv.com, where we take a deep dive into every surah of the Quran, ayah by ayah, and try to contemplate and learn everything we possibly can from that ayah. So I want you to join that series and see how many of your questions are getting answered through that deep dive discussion. Join us at bayyinahtv.com for the Deeper Look series.